Hello, wildlings. I'm your Creepsmith, and you found my Fear Forge. Lucky you. Tonight's story: There Was a Murder at My Childhood Home This Week, by xcf3131. It's a strange feeling to see your childhood home named as the site of a brutal double murder in a national newspaper. This is the feeling that I experienced earlier this week. The article in question described how the mother had been killed while watching television at around 10:30 p.m. Her assailant had presumably crept up behind her with a knife, as there were no signs of a struggle save for the slit across her neck. The perpetrator had then moved upstairs and killed the 3-year-old daughter in her bedroom. My old bedroom. The father claimed to have come home from the pub that evening just before 11 p.m. and then phoned the police at about midnight. He attributed the hour of delay between arriving home and calling the authorities to a mixture of shock and incapacity while he vomited after seeing his daughter's body. He'd been taken to the police station for questioning. The journalist listed the husband's previous violent offenses and, short of outright libel, had done everything possible to insinuate his guilt. I'm sure he's innocent. Reading the article in the paper, I thought back to my years in that house. My mother had been a caring and nurturing woman, and I loved her dearly. My fondest memories growing up there are of her, reading softly to me in bed, then gently stroking my hair as I closed my eyes when the story finished. Those years she looked after me in that house are the only happy ones that I have. Her only real fault, in my view, was weakness. My father is an alcoholic, an angry one to boot, and I see it as a weakness of hers that she never left him. My life would have been happier without him, and hers would have been longer. One night, after a pointless argument between her and my father, he struck her. As she fell, she hit her head awkwardly on the coffee table, and she was dead before the ambulance arrived. My father went to prison for 3.5 years for manslaughter. And since I was 14 when it happened, I was taken into care by social services. This was 10 years ago, and I still seethe with rage when I consider the shortness of his sentence in light of the gravity of his crime. He took the only person in this world that I cared about away from me. So, I'm going to assume that you can understand why, after he spat on the only happy memories I have, by moving his new family into the same place I shared with her, well, I had to do to him what he did to me. So stay scary, my wildlings. Try not to hold grudges to the point where they become vendettas, and make the most of your nights.